Hello. Hello, Jared. Wade, how are you today?
I am great. How are you, Laura?
Spectacular, thank you.
You're looking wonderful.
Thanks. Stray ballet.
Yeah. Very nice, very nice.
It's my nightshirt, to be fair, but I love it. It's so comfy. And hey, Rimini.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you guys doing?
Spectacular.
Good, good.
You look amazing.
Oh, thanks. I see we're both donning the red lipstick. Jared, you're left out.
Well,
Of course.
it's all right. I decided to match Laura today with black sleeves and a gray shirt. So.
Totally. Holy cow.
Right, I need to go and have an outfit change.
Pardon?
I need to go and take an outfit change.
Yeah, there you go.
That's amazing. No, like the symbolic significance of me matching both of you. Out of this world. Surrender. I fully surrender to the moment.
So, how's everybody doing?
Good, good.
I'm so
I had a lot of people ask for links, so we'll see how that goes. I got those out to them in time, so.
I'm controlling the admission and
you have the power.
Well, yeah, I technically do, but I am going to wield it responsibly. But I wanted to say, Jared, you're going to share the details about the CD and 2000, like, are you going to share like that it's $2,000 for 5,000 CDs and then free shipping, or like they pay for the shipping? Who's going to get what? Are you going into those details today?
Yeah, I'm going to go into the details a little bit.
Wonderful.
It's not all set in stone.
No.
But this is what I found so far. So.
That's perfect. Like this is a project that like you're going to be putting financial resources to. We're all putting time into. It's a great opportunity to lift. Like we see what Tony submitted to, and you know, Luna, Rimini, you're doing the recoding. I'm promoting that. Eric and Luna are here now. We've got incredible powerhouses in this summit. So amazing. How are you guys doing?
Connecting audio.
We can't hear you, Luna.
Hello. Sorry, I was just, I had my audio settings different. I just had to fix those.
Beautiful.
Good. Nice to see you.
How you doing?
I'm good. I was really sick last week and spent most of it in bed, which was pretty bad ear infection.
Oh no.
So now I'm very busy catching up with a lot of work, but I am feeling better and I'm really grateful for that. So I'm good.
That's good.
How about you? Everything good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really well.
Have you ever heard about the fact that when we get sick, it's actually a cellular vibrational reset within our own selves? So the fact that it's an ear issue that you had when you're part of something like this and everything else that you're doing with changing the harmonics of hue-manity, I just want to point out that connection from my perspective.
Oh yeah, and it was actually ear throat. So it was like everything I need to make music. I feel like it was a sign because I was doing too much and saying yes to too many things. And my body was just saying, hey, maybe you should take some time for yourself and be more selective and focus your energy better because you can't keep on doing this. And I'm listening now, so that's good.
It is good. So, Eric, I shared with Laura and Rimini your song that you shared with me.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
And they had some questions for you.
Okay.
Sure. Hey everyone, thanks for doing that, Jared. And yeah, I'm glad you liked it, Laura and Rimini.
We were going to try to play it at the beginning as people came in. I said, let's put it in behind. But Jared had reached out to ask if that was okay and hadn't got your okay. So we wanted to respect that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Jared, I apologize. I didn't see it till about maybe a few minutes ago. However, yes, you definitely could still, if you want, Laura, for sure. Yeah.
it's without lyrics. Well, it's without lyrics. So if you are happy for us to carry on with the summit itself and have that in the background, Rimini, you had a question around his song.
Oh, I was just wondering if you were planning to put vocals and if you were going to sing or if you wanted a collaboration.
I will say humbly that no, I do not sing. I leave that to the talent on the call right now, and would say, yeah, I'm definitely open to collaborating for this for sure. Yeah, if you're moved to add vocals to it, then I would definitely be open to that.
Cool, awesome.
So this is the sound as well. Is it okay volume-wise for everyone to still talk?
A little bit high.
A little high? Very chill. And so speaking to the fact that you've actually attuned this to 332 hertz as well.
432.
432, yeah.
432. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I did, Laura. I took, the YouTube that you shared with Michael and kind of took it to heart, and then so I researched, how I could, kind of incorporate that with this composition, especially because I, honestly, and I will definitely write up something for you, Laura, on this. However, yeah, I mean, these meetings inspired this composition. So this was not pre-created before, these summits. And so, yeah, it just came to me and, and added to it. And then, yeah, and then I learned how to sort of retune it to 432. So that way, when I sent it to Jared, it was definitely in that frequency.
Was that complicated or not?
Not really, actually. I did it in two different ways. And so not to get too technical on the call, I use Pro Tools, and then I also have Logic Pro. And Logic Pro does have an ability to do it. However, I didn't really like how it was sounding after I did it. So I Googled even more. And as simple as a program called Audacity, a guy showed a really quick way to do it in Audacity. And it was, I loved it. I loved how it, converted. And so that's the version that Laura, you're playing right now, is the Audacity conversion.
Of course it is. Because it takes Audacity to do what we're doing. So congratulations and celebrations to all of us for being this and doing it consciously. Woohoo! A mermaid tail, yes, make a splash.
It's my son's pen.
It's a very beautiful pen.
Thanks. He's very pleased with it.
Beautiful. Jules, how are you doing? Thanks for coming in today. It's great to see you again.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Jules. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I came at the right moment because I've watched the same tutorial Audacity, as Eric said, and it was really surprising. And because I was also trying to make different frequencies, because we usually hear songs on the radio playing at 440 hertz, and it was really surprising because I was trying to layer some chord progressions, changing them to 432 to 528, and I felt that different. And the difference is very huge. I made a song which is not in 428 or 432 or 528, but I was still discovering things because it's music. We learn new stuff every day. And we were discussing it with my producer, and he was really happy about it too, because he usually does different types of styles, going from Afropop to Afrobeat and other stuffs. And he was happy to discover all these frequencies, because I don't use Pro Tools like Eric. We usually use Bitwig or Ableton or FL Studio, and it's kind of feels like a discovery. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. And I had a chance to read the book A New Earth, the one Susie talked about and Laura talked about. I was just amazed. it made me look for the book, The Power of Now. It's the one I'm reading now. And thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for sharing those stuff. They just like, that's what I was looking for. And I came to find it here with you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm glad I'm glad. And I can offline, Jules, help you kind of like, I can actually just send the link to the video because I'm gracious to the guy that posted it on YouTube, to help me convert this song, because he lays it out really quick and easily. And really quick, Laura, just to go back to that video with Michael, like, it is unfortunate that the music industry is sort of like, quote unquote, maybe forcing our hand with the 440, because I was surprised that even in Pro Tools, as professional as that software is, I don't have the option, or I don't see the option to do 432. So it's almost like they've even, forced the recording industry software to adhere to the 440 now. So we have to do these sort of like different things to, to get it tuned in a different way, unfortunately.
Oh yeah. Pro Tools is kind of, I've never used it, but with FL Studio, I could show you fast how quick, maybe one time, or maybe I could send you a short tutorial how to do it, because I discovered it and I was like mind blown, because like you play some chord progression in 432, and when you put them in 440, they become like they are trying to make you feel something different, or give you some energies you were not expecting. And that's what the industry does, because 440 has the energy they play in clubs and stuff, so it make people really that it gives them those vibes which give them that I don't know, like they want to buy more, they want to I don't know, do violent stuffs, and sometimes it makes them do bad choices, because sometimes when you're listening to a song you'll be like, oh my god, I think I'm very angry now. Yeah, so you find that there is these things, people play with frequencies, and I came to find out later, thanks to you guys, but it was a huge discovery, and I'm planning on working on my next EP or album. I'm trying to make it at least 432, or maybe I could try also 528, and thanks a lot, guys.
You know what the
absolutely.
resonance is of 528? What does it do?
528 taps into more of mental, emotional healing.
Healing the DNA.
Oh.
Yeah.
Awesome. I have to dig out an album that I've got that's all designed specifically to heal cancer. They have certain frequencies that you play at the body, and it's supposed to, this guy's had like massive success, healed his mother, all sorts. Really, really cool.
This morning, I have to share, I was talking to someone, and we were actually talking about music, and we were talking about frequency and vibrations, and I had shared about the video Michael and I had posted for this summit, because he'd asked what I was doing today, and I said this was one of those things. And it was so fascinating because he hadn't ever heard about the connection between frequency and music. And so I was explaining it to him about the diagrams that Michael had shown about the different songs, and then the auras of people who were actually pictured listening to those songs, and the destructive nature of some of them. And I was saying to him literally my words, and I pay attention to symbolism and signs and omens as they show up and when they show up, and all of that as the way that the universe communicates with us. And I was saying to him about how music actually opens us up to portals and its frequencies. So if you think about a scale or a chart of 0 to 10, and then if you are on a thought frequency of a 6, for instance, and then you come into contact with an 8, you're going to have to stretch yourself in order to reach that higher level, because we are beings that seek harmony. And so we will naturally shift our own resonance to that higher level to meet it, if they don't drop down to our level to meet us. And that's the problem with then when we experience lower frequency music, say it's at a 4 or a 3 or any of those destructive harmonics that Rimini was just mentioning, it takes us down into those lower levels, and being creatures of harmony, we will seek to meet it where it's at, unless we choose to just walk to the edge of the ditch where someone is down. And if we don't know that they're in the ditch and that the music is the ditch that's going to pull us down there, we'll crawl in there to go comfort them. Compared to if we do it from a state of conscious awareness, where we are able to actually stand on the edge of the bank and reach our hand down. And that's the difference between sympathy and empathy. But going back to the story this morning, where I was telling my friend about that experience of opening our portals up, there was a CD player behind him playing mainstream music that literally in the moment when I had said about how music opens us up, I'm not even kidding you, the CD port opened, like it just like magically popped. And it was just one of those where I just was like, are you kidding me? And he's not looking. I'm like, you need to see this thing actually lifting as I'm watching it, talking about it opening you to different frequencies and different entities. Because what is an entity but a thought form or an idea that is brought in and accumulated more of its form to then have that law of attraction amplification effect. So this is an opportunity. Unless anyone has anything you want to bridge off of that, we're going to shift over to Jared to actually explain some of the project, and then we're going to give you the gift of experiencing Rimini's recoding process today, as we mentioned last time. So amen. We have sent healing and loving energies to surround her internet connection today. We'll just keep doing that, sending good vibes your way to keep you safe so we can all play at that higher vibe that we are here to do. So who's next?
Okay, so what I found is it's not going to be a terrible amount of money for me to print out, like 5,000 copies of a CD, for me to print out, multiple, so that we each have 200 copies to give out. And that's really what it comes down to is if we make this something that's promotional in nature, something that's like free with donation kind of thing, or something we can just give out while we're doing shows, or to people that we know, or to people that we feel need a boost. I think we can perpetuate it that way. Just have those available that way. And that way we don't need to go through all the other, so by like all the contracts and all the other things like that. We just have a promotional CD. And that's kind of what I've been thinking about, as opposed to making it something that's for sale, that it's something that is free with shipping. So you pay the shipping costs and then you'll get a copy. And so it's really not going to be very much for me to take the MP3s or the WAV files that we get sent. And, like Luna's volunteered to help us organize those, to lay that out in a format that's going to be really beneficial to our theme. And then once we've got that all put together, we'll make a master CD and we'll send that in for processing. And within 2 weeks, we should get back our 5,000 copies. And then they'll go out from there. And each of the artists that are participating should get about 200 copies of the CD that they can do with as they wish. They can make them free. They can give them to people they know need to hear it, or they can, free with donation to help us print more. And that's kind of the hope, is that we'll continue to print more and more and more. So this is where we're starting, and it's all an opportunity for us to build each other up and to build up others. And as we're approaching it from the perspective of, this is something we're freely giving. There's still going to be a playlist or multiple playlists linked off the website that contain all the songs. There's still, income coming in from the digital platforms and digital streaming, and even digital purchase and downloads that people do. But just as a promotional item, as a promotional item is what we're going to go with for the CD. It makes things a lot more simple, and it keeps it away from all the legal jargon of how we order and organize things.
I'm sorry. you can ask first. We both had a question at the same time.
I just wondered about if we want an actual physical item, I wonder if a CD is the best item to have, just because I'm not sure that many people still have CD players.
Yeah,
So
it's
it
not
might
very
be cheaper to just get a USB key that we could then, and it's smaller, and print something cool on the side, and maybe have like a nice card. I just wonder if that might be more accessible.
That's actually a cool idea. I saw an artist do this. What they had, it looked really cool, and I just feel like it could be like it immediately popped into my mind when you said this, Rimini. It was a little bottle, and the cork was the USB stick. So that would be such a cool thing because you're sort of sending a message, a positive message in a bottle.
Right on. Wow.
Yeah.
That was like the first thing that came to my mind when I heard you say USB stick. I mean, I could do some research in where they are produced, how they are produced, or how much that would cost. Or you can do, Jared, whatever you prefer.
Yeah.
But maybe that's an even cooler thing than a CD. I mean, we could probably vote on that, but it immediately spoke to me.
Yes, that's a brilliant idea. I love that. I love that because most laptops nowadays don't even have CD drives, so that's perfect.
The other thing about that from a marketing perspective is that becomes something that captures attention rather than just being a CD, maybe with a pretty logo printed on it. So from a marketing perspective, I forget what it's called in direct mail, but we can create a campaign that would require extra resources, but ultimately we're all connected to a law of 250, which means that each of us have an influence of that much or more, many of us much more. And so if we actually are doing this with the right heart, as we are, considering this is the 5th summit and most of you have been on every one, and you've got music in, and we've got the Facebook group, and traction is growing, and the mind mapping and masterminding of bringing what is in view now together and to create an extra entity of what we're actually creating with this. Oh my.
Good things. Good things. I love that. I love that USB idea. I think that's perfect.
I just looked it up, and there are several websites that produce them, so it's definitely doable.
Perfect.
Even with like a customized print on the glass, which looks really cool. So
right on.
If somebody's a producer watching this as well, and this becomes a project that you have a heart to be part of, please reach out. Join us next week, or not next week, but in the next summit, which is every 2 weeks. So today is February 23rd, and in 2 weeks on the next Tuesday at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time, we'll come together again. And next time you can be one of the ones in view who are being part of changing the music industry.
Absolutely. I wanted to say, I reacted to Rimini, but I did have a question of my own about what Jared said. So about the master, are you looking at creating, like, probably it would be cool to have a mastering studio creating the final audio that actually goes onto the USB stick? We actually share or the streaming platforms, because there you have like the single songs, right? But on the, oh, sorry, I'm just getting world here. But on the USB stick, we will have to have like a certain space between songs and all of that. So that is also something someone professional should probably do. Do you have anyone in mind there, Jared?
I have somebody I've used for mastering like what my band has done, and his band is actually, well, it's just him, but he calls himself a band. He's putting together, because when he plays shows, he does it with a lot of friends. So yeah, he's putting something together for the project as well. So I know somebody who does mastering, but I think if you know somebody too that would be interested in helping out with the project, that works as well.
Okay, I can ask around. I just wanted to see if you had someone in mind.
Yeah, I have somebody. I don't know how involved he wants to be with holding everything. So I'll talk to him this week.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I think we have a pretty cool plan. Also about uploading the music to streaming platforms. Have you chosen a distributor? Like who do you want to work with? I know this is really far ahead, but it's good to kind of have some
It's not that
overview of what this will entail.
No, that's good. I've always used CD Baby. I know that there's like a few different out there. There's even some like no cost websites and platforms for uploading to streaming platforms. Where where most of the music that we're working with has already been published, or is it going to be self-published? I think that's not really going to be too big of an issue as long as we each have a digital link that we can provide for the for the different playlists, for like like an iTunes playlist or a Spotify playlist. Then I don't think there's going to be a problem. But if we need to do it all under one, then there's more homework for me to do.
So you're thinking about not uploading it as a project, but to make a playlist on streaming platforms and each artist uploading their songs by themselves? Is that what you were thinking?
Well, yeah, roughly. Roughly just as a group playlist to make available. But then, as far as a digital existence, I think that might be a more effective way to do it. As far as
I've worked a lot with that, but maybe it's something we can talk about one-on-one, because it's technical, boring stuff that we can just go through. And this is a time for Rimini to do amazing things with us. So we'll talk about it.
Yeah, Laura, I would appreciate that. All right, we'll connect.
And just before we get to Rimini, just as a reminder, we are actually talking about the compilation CD. 22 artists is what we're really looking for to be part of a CD where we can promote each other and be the foot soldiers that get out not only our own word, but the word of each of the ones who are in view that have creativity the world needs to hear of. And the deadline for submissions, which are free because this is a karma project. And so the deadline is April 2nd. And we'll say it's to midnight of the Friday. And so that is when we need your creative baby in the mix. And then we'll be able to bless the world with conscious creations that are imbued and infused with higher vibing frequencies, which is what Eric, Tony was speaking of, and Jules as well, about the 528 and the 432 hertz. So we've done lots. If you haven't watched any of the previous Mad Hatter's Mystic Music Summit messages before this one, here's just the overall review, but there is certainly lots in those previous summits too. I particularly shared about the sacred sojourn of the soul, which is the journey that we're all going through. So those are in previous episodes. And today, Rimini is the featured expert who is going to actually take us on a journey of recoding. And if you could explain what that means, the floor is yours, my friend.
Wonderful. I do have one last question for you. Is there a significance to it being 22 artists?
Well, I have been working on the high rise of emotional awareness theory, which is taking Esther Abraham Hicks's emotional guidance system and then applying it to the theory of a high rise, where it's a different level of experience based on whether we're at the 22nd floor emotion of depression at the very bottom in the basement, where everything feels on top of us because we're so in victimhood and chaos and overwhelm, compared to on the 22nd or the very first floor at the top, where we can see the peace and the air and the trees and the mountains and everything in the distance, because when we're in the city we feel congested, but on the penthouse of peace and possibility, which is where we're working to vibe, we're able to see in the distance and find our tribe, which is really what is being gathered here. So that was my reason for suggesting 22. And it's also the master number, which is the repetition of the number 2, which is the duality of bringing two or more like minds together to create a mastermind of a third mind that is the baby we're all birthing together.
So you didn't think about this at all then?
I threw it out there after years of preparation.
Yeah.
Love it. And just as you were saying, I was like, oh, feeling elevated, looking out across the horizon. I was like, yes, I'm in it. Let's do this. So hi everybody. I've met most of you before. Sunshine David, cool name. I'd never met you before. I like it. And Jules, I think this is the first time that we're seeing each other too. Lovely to meet you and lovely to see everybody again. So Luna, just to correct you on one thing, I'm not doing it. Actually, we're doing it together. So it's going to be a collaboration, and we're musicians, so we should hopefully be good at this. And yeah, and it's a process. This process that's based on respect. I'm not going to be fixing you or like, you know, taking out the bad bits and getting rid of them. There's no bad bits. You are complete and whole, and my greatness bows to your greatness. So let's just get that clear at the beginning. This process it's magical. It's based on the premise that we're not broken, and we don't need fixing. And a lot of the sort of self-help, self-development world kind of has us chasing our tail a little bit, because it's like, okay, well, I've got to think perfect so that I can achieve my goal. I've got to eat perfect so I can look a certain way or feel, just like there's all these rules of ways of being that we think we have to kind of squish ourselves and mold ourselves into doing and being in order to get the thing that we think will make us happy. And I'm happy to say that it's not true. You're not broken and you don't need to fix yourself. And this process is a releasing. So it's just a releasing of resistance that's on the path in front of you. So what we do is we get into an end result that is a true choice. So we step into something that you would just love to have, like love to create. So it could be confidence. It could be a great relationship with a parent. It could be an amazing music career. It could be more money than you know what to do with. It could be all sorts of things. You know, it's just a, why do you want it? I just want it. It feels really juicy to me. It's not a, I want to be good at that so then I can do this. Like, it's not one of those, oh, if I could just fix that one thing about myself, then I would be able to get the thing that I really want. Like, that's the kind of the catch-22 that I was doing a lot for a long, long time before in the self-development world. It was like, I was offered this massive deal to go and tour with Major Lazer, and I was like, I'm just going to go fix myself so I'm worthy of this instead of just choosing the thing. And it was just like, so I just sabotaged it because I had an identity that wasn't good enough, right? So I couldn't allow myself to accept that and to actually go for it. And it happened a number of times. I was like, so my identity is wrapped up in fixing myself. And so I can't ever get the thing that I really want because I'm always looking underneath to see what needs fixed, you know? And it's just like a perpetuating cycle. And so during lockdown, I've kind of started on some new projects, and they are musically based, but also actually focused on the artist as a divine creator and how best to really elevate creators to do what they came here to do, and do it in a way that's really in integrity so that they feel the most grounded in their authenticity. They have the 8 areas of wellness balanced. So let's say finances are balanced, let's say your relationships, your relationship with your environment, you're learning constantly, the way that you approach your career, it's actually true to your heart. Like, all of these areas actually make us up to be a whole and complete person. And I just noticed from the age of 7 that we just don't really give our artists the support to be happy on their creative journey. Like, we get them, like Michael Jackson, like we turned him into a monster. No offense, I loved him as a child. He was like my idol. And then it was like to see his gradual descend, and like he was so unhappy, like that broke my heart. But like, why aren't we giving our artists like the culture he created? I remember practicing the moonwalk with my friends in the playground, like, you know, like it just has such a huge impact. And like, we're creators and we have the ability to shape and mold childhoods and empower people and elevate people and, you know, start riots. We have, you know, or just change consciousness like we're doing with our 22 album. So it's like, you know, we for me, nurturing the artist so that the artist also gets to win, because ultimately we've seen that fame and money isn't winning. Like, you don't feel complete. You can see, you know, Robin, what was his name, the actor Robin, that's who killed himself. He's like, you know, super famous, had everything, had, you know, incredibly funny, but completely sad and lonely on the inside. And so what we're seeing is that success, it isn't personal. So you can have success and be totally broken. Like, you can have it because it's just a structure. It's a different structure. It's a different way of creating versus the fixing myself loop, which kind of has you fixated on just that. Like, you know, I've got to be different. I've got to be better. I've got to be this. But that success structure on itself doesn't actually support the artist as a whole being to really enjoy that success. Like, you know, you think we're kind of indoctrinated to believe that when we have this money, or we have enough Instagram likes, or we have, you know, sold enough records, that we're somehow going to be fulfilled and feel magical and, you know, fairy dust popping out of our arseholes, excuse my French. But it's like, you know, it's all going to be perfect. And it just isn't the case. Like, you know, there's more teen suicides now, like children committing suicide because they don't get likes on Instagram. Like, what? It's just bizarre. So I just feel like very moved, especially now that we're spending so much time looking at a screen, that we really do take care of our the integrity of ourselves and what we came here to do as like musicians, and the power that we have as musicians to elevate and heal and empower. And so that's kind of why I've stepped into this modality. And I love the fact that it's not based on fixing yourself, because forever I thought I was broken. So what we're going to do is choose there's two, I had two ideas. We can each choose a goal of our own. Well, I'm going to be focusing on yours, so I'm not choosing one, but you guys pick something that you would like to have or to create in your life that you feel like stopped, like you want to go towards it, but you kind of find yourself like either moving towards it and then sabotaging it, or just avoiding it, or procrastinating. So you can pick something, like one thing that you would just love to create because it would bring you joy. Or we could all choose to step into the end reality of having this album reach millions of people, and, you know, being able to affect lots of joy and whatever that would look like for us. That would be an end result that would that really lights us up. So we could do that. What do we want? One or two? Give me a finger. Two. Okay, cool. All right, so this is awesome. I want you to, let's just, maybe if we want to have just a chat about it, then I want us to throw out some words about what would an end result look like for us. So we can start putting those energies into, we start creating a container that is our joint end result. And we start to put some energies into that. So if we want to take ourselves, actually, one sec, let's close our eyes. Okay, so I'm just going to ask you all to just really imagine this album turning out better than you could possibly ever imagine. And just start to really feel that. So what are we all doing? Are we post-COVID throwing a party? Are we selling loads of records? Are we on tour? Are we hitting 1 million streams on Spotify? Like, this is our party. So what do we want it to look like? You know, nothing is too big. We can just jump in, and we're creating it now. So
for me, it's not even about the big. It's just about that one person that needs to be able to drive through the night and make it to their destination, that hears the song that completely changes their moment and lifts them and gives them access to the higher frequencies that we're imbuing all of these songs into. So it's the big and the small for me.
I was picturing the exact same thing. I was like, no to everything, like not big, obviously, but I was like, okay, but what I really want is to reach the people. I was like, this exact same thing. You just spoke my mind completely, Laura.
cool. So we have impact. We want to create an impact, is what I'm hearing. Anybody else have something they want to throw into the pot? Imagine it's like a kind of cauldron, and we're putting all of our juicy energy into a cauldron.
I don't know where this came from, but my first thought was that we were invited to go speak at the United Nations and to perform. So who knows? I just see it being on a like universal level, you know, where it's for the world. So the first thing in my mind that popped in was United Nations.
Gorgeous. Love that.
Yeah, and I
what?
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I saw us also in together, you know, in celebration of the impact. So impact and us being together with that.
Love it.
And what come up for me was inner peace and unification on an individual and collective level.
Jules.
Okay. It's too much to say. I saw light. Light. I don't know what that means, but I just saw light. Like lights on a performer.
Beautiful. So like, oh, the word just popped out of my head. Oh, the illuminated.
May I say illumination instead of illumination? Because the video that I just did with Michael before this, which is going to tie perfectly into this because it's about the threefold flame of power, wisdom, and love united. And it's illuminate is false light. We are illuminators. We are the lighthouses. It's like you say that, Jules, and it's like we're the lights that are activating the other lights, except for we're the houses that stand when everyone else is completely lost in the storms, and we're saying, hey, it's good, it's good, it's good. Just find peace in the moment.
I hear lighthouse. We're like a lighthouse to the lost ships.
Yes.
Cool. This is beautiful.
Like a connection too, I feel. That's also a word that pops into my mind. Just connecting and reaching people with that light.
Jared, are we hearing you?
Yeah. Yes. No, I facilitating healing. You know, like Laura was saying, helping people to level up, but to really step into their personal power and find that inner healing in their life that will lighten them to take the next step or to keep going, to go the distance.
Beautiful. also hear the word courage.
Warriors need it.
Beautiful. Okay, so do we have a set container, or does anybody else want to add anything else that they feel inspired? We're good? Yeah? Okay, cool. So how this works is like there's the self-conscious consciousness, which is like the me talking to you right now, Rimini, and then there's the subconscious, which is the things that like the programming that happens between like 1 and 7, sometimes 1 and 12, that you don't know why you feel a certain way about certain people, but or like things you get triggered by. I don't know, you look at a certain food and you're like, you have all these rules around the food or whatever. It's like that stuff. And then we have the superconscious, which actually is like, it's like a oneness field. And so how this works is by stepping into that oneness field, and I am able to, with your permission, which you'll need to grant me, I can connect to your superconscious. And then as a collective, we can set certain instructions to release any resistance from the field that might have you, create some tension between you and actually being able to move forward easily towards this end result we just created. And what's kind of cool too is that we will now have a collective consciousness as a group, which I didn't even think about until just now. So we're working towards a collective goal, and we have a collective conscious because we're working together as a team, and we're going to be working in the superconscious field. So there's like another dynamic here, which is really cool, because like normally it's a group where everyone's working on separate things, and it's, you know, you're only unified because you're working in the superconscious field. Anyway, I'm a geek and that stuff excites me. Cool. So there are different fragments of our personality that basically can come up at any point when you're moving towards a goal that you really want to achieve. And some of those fragments can be unhelpful because they're formed when we were really young and we didn't know how to process something. So we kind of went, hey, you take that and go over there. But they can come up as we're moving towards a goal. And suddenly you're like, why am I doing this? I was just going to go over there, and now I'm over here screaming at someone, or like eating too much food, or watching TV. Or in my case, having a glass of wine. So it's like, yeah, it's really good to be able to bring those aspects forward for the treatment, for the recode, because what we can do is communicate, hey, actually we have an end result, and it's really good to have a singular personality that works directly for the end result to be accomplished, because having the fragments or the different aspects is actually causing chaos. And like I said at the beginning, this is a process of respect. So everybody has free will. I'm not doing anything to you. You're choosing this, and you're choosing to allow me to connect to your superconscious, and you can block it if you want to. My intention is to just see how great you feel. So relax. I'm not going to do anything horrible. I'm stepping into your greatness and the greatness of our collective. Okay, so there are some, I just need to read something so that everybody, all of those aspects have information, because that's what, that's what is kind of required, so that they don't go, huh, what are you doing? No, I created this to protect myself from ever feeling pain again, and you can't possibly talk to me about that. So I'm just going to explain the benefits of treatment. Okay, so the goal is to treat all parts and aspects so they can join the main personality and share all information. We do this by removing the emotion of a memory, keeping the content. This is how pain can turn to wisdom. The advantages of treatment. The process is through respect, and we desire all parts to choose to let go of resistance. We do this by explaining the benefits. All parts that are awake are always listening. So here are some of the advantages. To get more satisfaction and less pain in life, to stop takeovers, to stop losing time, so that all parts can run the body at the same time, to stop the main personality from hiding information, and because a mono personality works best in creating desired realities. Okay, so what we just need to do now is get clear. What we're going to do is we're going to step into the end result. So we just got that good juju. And we're going to close our eyes. Now we've got a set container of what that feels like. So we're going to re-step into that. And then I'm going to ask you to step into where we're at right now and get the energy of that. And then I'm going to ask you for your permission to work with your superconscious. Everybody clear? Great. Okay, so let's close our eyes again. I'm just going to really feel what it feels like once we've created that impact. We know that person was able to drive through the night. We know that people are feeling a sense of inner peace, that there is illumination happening because we're acting as lighthouses. We've facilitated healing. People are feeling more courageous and bold. And we're performing in global world stages that have us be able to be experts in our field of joy creation and unity. Yeah, and we're all together. We're actually all able to give each other hugs and high fives and eat some delicious food and have a dance to our awesome music. So yeah, just allow yourself to really feel that. And I want you to put a circle around that energy. And once you've got it tingling through your whole body, just want you to step into that. And so it is. So now we're going to, now that we've created that point on our timelines, we're going to step into our current reality. And we're just going to feel what it is, what it's like. So is there uncertainty? Is there any confusion? How does it feel in your body? Is your mind wondering how? Are there any stories? Does it feel constricted at all? Is there any energy blocking your solar plexus, your heart center, allowing you to really just control, like step into total trust and move towards that end result? And just witness it. Don't judge it. There's nothing wrong with where we are right now. Everything is perfect. We're just going to witness it so that we can change it, we can shift it and release it. And once you're clear that you've got a sense of it, I just want you to open your eyes and just describe what you felt to me.
Okay to start? I don't want to speak if people are still thinking. I just want to say for myself, I felt hopeful, even in this moment right now of what's to come. And also just knowing that right now we are exactly where we need to be. That's basically it. That we're exactly where we need to be.
Oh.
Yeah, I too felt excited for the future vision. I felt my presence now was excited, very excited for that.
Awesome.
I must say I did feel like I'm about to jump, and there is not only positivity and hope, but there is also doubts. How are we going to do it? How are we going to get there? Are we going to work together? Do we really have everything that it takes for that? Maybe that's not the most positive part, but it's definitely also there alongside what you just described for me.
Well, this part is often to focus on that area exactly. So to look at those, the doubts and the worries and any fears or concerns, so that we can really bring them to the surface, so that we can release them. So we don't have to be focusing on positive right now at all. So yeah, that's great.
I felt a lot of the weight leave and pressure. That's pressure just dissolve, along with what a lot of other people said here. Yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
I want to say that my focus in this moment, as much as it is about the end result, is holding space for you to be able to do what is required, which feels to me in bringing in the element of each of us understanding our role here on planet Earth and understanding why we are where we are, when we are, and why it's exactly perfect, and how everything is here to serve us. And it's all happening for us instead of to us. And shifting out of that victimhood and bringing that energy of support for each other, to know that even though we're not necessarily the focus, it's about holding space for the one that is, creating that sacred container the way that the compilation album together will be for us all.
Perfect, thank you.
Anybody else? Did you have something to add, guys? I just want to say that I felt like the feeling you have after climbing a mountain, like when you reach at the top of the mountain, how do you feel? You still feel pain, but there is that feeling of relief in you, achievement, I could say that.
So you felt, so let me get clarity. You felt like you already feel a sense of accomplishment.
Yes.
Okay, cool. It feels like that.
Sorry, just one thing that I'd like to add with Jules, what Jules just said. I also felt a certain sense of gratitude. Apart from all the doubt, there was still this is an amazing thing. I have found these wonderful people. I get to do something with them, and I'm excited and grateful. But I'm also worried, because it's so wonderful and because I wanted to do well, that I might put too much pressure and that it might not work out. So it's sort of that balance.
My feeling, what I saw, what I envisioned while you were going through that was, it might seem silly, but it was just a very clear path. There's a few steps along the way that I'm not really sure exactly what they are, but the whole road to the end project is very clear. I think we have our goal and our end in mind, and taking those little steps and hurdling those small obstacles are just going to be part of how this comes together. I think the feeling that I had was just tremendous love and gratitude for those that have shown up, and those who are showing up, and those who are following along afterwards. This is a project to lift and build humanity, to grow love.
And so when you look at it from, because that feels like the end result energy. So when you look at that, when you look at where you're stood now,
yeah,
there is, you mentioned there being some small hurdles to climb over,
yes,
and some need for clarity. Huh?
Uncertainty. I feel like that was a word that I kind of heard through.
Cool. Okay. Anything
that I just need to say, when Jared was speaking, the reason, if anybody saw me have a reaction, was because I actually had my email pop up with a connection doctor warning that I thought was impacting the recording of this message. So there's an element of connection issues. And even what Luna was saying, I feel like it's about clearing the paradigms of the too good to be true phenomenon. which is what Jared and I have talked about since the beginning. It's like I've said from my view of all of this, it's like everybody's waiting to hear like it's too good to be true, when's the other foot gonna drop? So like I feel like there's an element of that too that we are clearing with this collaboration as well.
Awesome. Okay, that's really helpful.
Yeah,
okay, so
sorry, I think maybe it's
oh no, you go.
interrupting you. About the too good to be true thing, I do feel like there's also maybe a certain fear about being toxically positive, and a certain fear of, you know, we are here, we are being vulnerable, and we're opening up, and it's okay to have a little bit of fear of saying, okay, are we going to be able to connect even through the negative and the positive and build something?
Yeah, we're not going to get rid of like there's always going to be fear and hesitation. Like we're doing something new. You know, when you do something new, you have to walk through that kind of uncomfortable, you have to build those connections and build the bridges. And what we're looking for are the sabotaging identities that will stop us from doing that, that will really hold us back, that will make the fear seem too big to actually just jump in and go, okay, I feel a bit of resistance, but hey, I'm human. I'm here for a human experience. And you know, not every day is going to be rose colored and, you know, smell beautiful. Some days they're going to be stinky. So, how do we relate that to, you know, in music so that people can feel not alone? And that's something that I've been reflecting on a lot recently. So it's the willingness within myself to look at my shadow elements and my shadow aspects and accept them and share them. Like, this is what I was working on today with, I've got a coach and she's amazing. And she was saying, you know, she feels very strongly that because I've always thought I'm here to bring joy, but I have judged what joy looks like. Yeah, exactly. I love that. And I've judged what that means I can sound like on my tunes, you know. And when I have a song that's like feisty, I'm like, it's verging on angry. I don't know about that. I'm supposed to be being joyful. And it's like all these judgments of actually, hey, you know, there's certain music, like Rage Against the Machine, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. I feel joyful when I listen to that, and it gives me a certain energy, and I'm like, yes, let's do this. Like, you know, but did they write it from a space of petals and roses and you're so brave and la la la? No, they didn't. They tapped into their anger. They got really, really fucking clear, and they went, I'm going to write this, you know, like they faced and embraced their fear and like what anger, and yeah, stood up against suppression and oppression and all of that stuff. And I feel like, yeah, for me, it's like those elements that stop me from being able to write the song that's actually going to reach the person when they're about to, you know, not make it through the night, and actually they want to feel not alone. So like, yeah, is that resonating? So it's kind of, yeah.
Joy starts and ends the journey, and the only letters left is the earn, which is the rut that we fall into if we don't get out of our own way. Because if we don't, then they just have to put two ends on the rut and call it a day. But instead, we can find a new way by choosing joy without judging ourselves and putting us in our early deathbed. Or the artist within, because that's the thing too. There will be those that maybe are not into music, or they're into listening to it but and want to be part of the creation that we're part of now. But that, like Sunshine David, I invited him not because he's a musician per se, but because of the process you're guiding us through. And so whoever might be listening to the replay and participating in this, it's like a musician is a creator. So this is about the musician, the creator, the artist within.
Yeah, I love that. Exactly. And so, yeah, exactly. So okay, then I guess what we also need to do is we close our eyes again and just connect into our artist and ourselves as an individual on this journey as part of the collective. So, and when we step into the energy of that, like, what elements within us are experiencing resistance? What elements within us can be released so that we can fully embrace this journey within this community and within, you know, our hearts and our soul's desire to create that impact and to create that love in the world that is missing. So as us as creators, as artists, as limitless beings that chose to come together as a group and work together as a team, like, what elements within us are asking to release some energy right now? And so when you get a sense of that, and you can just ask, okay, so what aspect of me would want to, like, would resist this process? And just like feel into it and see if there's any aspect of you that is resisting it on some level, subconsciously or unconsciously, same thing, consciously or subconsciously. And yeah, just like allow it to be there so that we can activate it into the experience, and then we're going to hop into the recode. And just put a circle around anything that feels dense, even if we don't know what it is, or there might be stuff from childhood, you know, permission to actually be the artist that you are, permission to make money from being an artist, permission to, because this is all part of the end vision, right? We get to thrive and connect and live a life that we love. So there's artistry, there's, yeah, being able to step up and be you wholly and completely as you are right now and thrive at the same time. So any doubts and resistance and projections and expectations that pop up into the field about what this can be, what this can't be, what this will provide, what it won't provide, any and all of those things, just allow them to pop up into the active experience so that you can bring them in and not put any restraints from our own experience of life in this world as individuals, and also clear the space as a collective, as we're a new entity, we're a new group, we're a new collective. So we get to set this container really, really clear. Okay, and so if you guys can all just sit back, because it's going to be like, you're not going to go into a trance, but you'll probably feel some energy moving. And if you can all just say, like, in your minds, that you give me permission to connect to your superconscious. If you just keep your eyes closed and just kind of surrender to the process. Yeah, and just give me permission to connect to your superconscious and get a rough feeling of the number. If it was a number out of 10, like, what would be the number? A number being 10, completely stuck, not moving towards the goal at all. 0 being you're in a canoe flying down the river, you're nearly there, like 0 resistance. Just get a sense of what that resistance is. Any feelings of, like, I just got a sense that there's a concern about how much energy to put into this is because of fear of scarcity. So all that sort of stuff, like, that's all part of this journey. Okay. So you're going to hear me say some stuff. It's just me talking to the superconscious. You don't have to say anything or do anything. You just need to surrender and, yeah, and just observe what comes up into your mind, into your energy space. Okay, I'm just going to connect into the field. Superconscious can merge the fields. Superconscious, can you show me what the common denominators are between everybody? Ooh, okay, cool. Is it safe to treat and okay to treat the whole? Yes. Superconscious, can you design a treatment plan for all in the perfect and divine time and order? And do a massive change history and everything. And tag and treat memories 1, 2, and 3. Superconscious, do you see this end result of the beautiful 22 album? Yes. And you see where we currently are. Yeah, there's some doubts, there's some trust. There are some uncertainties, some questions, some fears. Yeah. Okay, and you see that there's a collective consciousness and there's also the individuals. Yeah, okay. So can you treat the collective field so that we can work together in unity? And all parts and all aspects that are stepping forward. Yeah. Do you know the advantages of treatment? Yes. Are you ready for treatment? Yes. Okay, good. Okay, superconscious, can you show me what the first priority is? Alignment with desire. Okay, so can you do a sentence procedure on I deserve, I commit, I trust, I am, and I will create the album 22. Yes, tag and treat and do a massive change history and everything that is required. Yeah. So we can just do see the metaphor of the golden river. Yeah. You see the river when it's flowing beautifully and effortlessly down to the sea, where it merges into one giant creation. Yeah. And you see where it has the boulders stopping the flow. Yeah. What we want to do is dissolve those boulders so the energy can flow freely in the direction of where we want to create. Okay, what is the next priority? Secondary intentions, okay. Phew. Superconscious, do you see the secondary intentions? Yeah. The payoffs for not, okay, yeah. We want to tag and treat all of those in the perfect and divine way, yeah. Whee. Everyone just breathe, allow the energy to move. Okay, and do you see the energy of scarcity and fear? And it's like almost like we're looking at the view, but scared we're gonna fall off the cliff. Yeah, that. Can you tag and treat any and all energy where that is locked into our systems because it's been there before, it's happened to us before, there's broken agreements, there's letdowns, there's a lack of trust. Yeah, yeah, especially from parents, yeah. Can we tag and treat all childhood wounds relating to this trust? Yes. And anything too big, please treat outside of the main personality in little portions so as not to flood the main personality. Okay. Super conscious, do you see family history? Yeah. Okay, you see the chains that are pulling? Yeah, okay. We want to break those chains now so that we can step forward into our true purpose, our true path, our true passions, our true desires, to create impact and be here to liberate and raise consciousness. Yes. Tag and treat all of that, of anything holding that in place, so that we can now be free. Okay. You see the emotions that are trapped from, I see like as at the age of 4, something where emotions were trapped. And we just want to unfreeze that emotion, wherever that happened across our joint field or the individual's field. Let's unfreeze that emotion, tag and treat it, so that we can walk forward with the wisdom, knowing that we're now grown up and we have the wisdom and the ability to run our life joyfully with more satisfaction. Okay, so if you're conscious, I'm saying that there's a common theme of a lack of self-love and a lack of self-care. And the image that if we are to create the impact that we desire, that we must fill up our own cup so that we can fill the others from the drips that overflow from ours. It is not at the expense. So there's a belief system that is saying that we have to create impact at any expense, and that's at the expense of ourselves. This isn't, yeah, can we replace that with a sense of overwhelming self-love, knowing that our self-love activates the self-love in others? Yes, okay. Tag and treat anything that is blocking that. And add the frequency, excuse me, add the frequency of love and above, okay, into the record, into the music, into everyone on his hearts and everybody that's going to listen to it. And allow that love to come through the music, no matter what the music is about, or, yeah. Super conscious, do you see that desire to create the impact, to make people feel like they're not alone, that they have the courage, that they can be illuminated? Yeah. Okay, so we want to add light. We want to be the light in the darkness. We want to be that lighthouse at sea. Yes. Do you see the resistance to know that there is light even in our darkness? So we can embrace all aspects of ourselves. Yeah, okay. Can you tag and treat that so that we can walk in as wholesome beings into this project, knowing that everybody has a shadow side, and that shadow side also serves our light. We want to install full self-acceptance and zero judgment. To really embrace others that are in darkness, we must allow them to feel like we are not judging their darkness. Yeah. So tag and treat anything that is stopping that from preventing any doubt structures, any fear structures, any scarcity structures. Let's replace them with structures that are of the highest good and the highest value for humanity. And anything that doesn't allow that, do a massive change history and everything. Phew. Any external structures that we've made bigger than ourselves, any projections of what the music industry looks like, what the music industry will allow, anywhere where we're trying to fit into the music industry as opposed to create our own. anywhere that brings up fear or judgments that we're not big enough, anything that is, tag and treat and do a massive change history. We came here to soar, we came here to fly, we came here to expand and grow, create and light the way for millions of people. We are bigger than any structure that exists because we channel the divine. The divine runs through everything and anything, and many structures are falling away at the moment that do not serve humanity. So all we need to do is just step into the light, step into the power that we have, embracing all we are as humans on a human experience, and know that it is our focus that creates reality. So let's take our focus back from the external structures that exist, and anything that doesn't allow that superconscious can you tag and treat into a massive change history. Superconscious, any part-time personalities that, are worried, can you just tag and treat the worry and the emotion so that we can work together unified in a unified field? Superconscious. Okay. So I just want you to all to breathe. And just turn to the end result of album 22. And we're getting the feedback that we've reached millions of people and they feel so connected to us and our energy, and we've managed to provide a space and time for them to choose something greater, for them to choose to have courage to step into who they truly are. We created a gap in their timeline for them to pivot and to choose to come home. And just really step into that energy where people feel like they're at home. They feel loved, they feel held, they feel heard, they feel listened to whilst they listen to album 22. And just allow that feeling of joy and accomplishment to overflow. Knowing deeply in your core, in your heart, in every cell, and your spirit, and all planes of your consciousness, that you are greatness. That you are a soul that's come here with a divine mission, and you're working and creating the impact that you set out to create. And that your human body is worthy of being treasured and nourished and taken care of, so that you can continue to do this journey and that you matter. Superconscious, you see what was activated into the current experience about mattering. Yes, can you tag and treat all that energy and install some new beliefs around it being a priority to take care of yourself so that you can show up in your magnificence on this journey, and that health and vitality isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. And you choose it wholeheartedly every day. And any aspects that are wanting to hide within that, please see the benefits of treatment. Okay, so reconnect to that end vision. We've done it, we've completed it. We're now stepping into a room collectively to have our celebration. And everyone's taking turns to speak and share their experience and perform and eat beautiful food. And there's just so much joy present. Superconscious, keep working in the background to install all the beliefs necessary for that to happen. Tag and treat anything that was remaining that is in the active field right now. And if you guys want to come back, just breathe and slowly open your eyes when you're back. And let me know how you got on.
May I say this could be the modern day Woodstock of our time?
I can't hear you. What did you say?
I felt like we are actually creating the Woodstock experience of the 2020, 2021 experience. That was like, whoa, this is a festival.
I love that. If you guys feeling spaced, I know it's a bit intense, your first recode, but feel free to share. I'd love to hear what you experienced or saw or felt.
That was incredible there. I felt like it was almost like a one-on-one session, you know, it's like for the whole group too. So thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Yeah, thanks for participating. It was us as a group that created the container. So
I definitely felt an incredibly strong, energetic feeling. The moment you started speaking, I started crying for some reason. I felt tears running down my chin at a certain part. I just felt so many emotions, negative and positive, and I wasn't consciously experiencing them. I was just feeling them run through me and kind of not thinking. And I'm honestly a little bit overwhelmed, so I don't know how to describe it, but it was a very intense and in the end, very wonderful thing. I felt like at the beginning I was crying with loads of doubts and all those feelings, and not all of them were mine. I did feel like there was a connection between all of us, and we were washing them out together. And in the end, I was crying out of joy and connection. It was really beautiful.
oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I often cry in recodes. Yeah, you should have seen me earlier.
My eyes are wet, that's for sure. And I just felt I'd say I felt just a beautiful purple light, like just fill my mind and just fill me with the knowledge and the hope that, you know, this is all coming together for a reason and a purpose that's way bigger than any one of us. And because we are dedicating a little bit of time here and there to bring this together, it's going to be the results are going to be such an amazing payout in how they benefit and bless and uplift people's lives. I'm really excited for what we have and what we're doing together.
Jared, it's so funny you mentioned the purple light. I was like, am I the only one seeing this? It was so bright. And I meditate every day when I wake up and before I sleep. I'm generally a very chill person. Like it's a weird thing because it's almost like I feel like if I was to talk to people, they think I have no emotion because I don't go up and down. Like right now when you were speaking, Rumini, I'm just like, I am in the river flowing. And I found that that's the best way to be in life with anything. You know, like when we're talking about now that any kind of anxieties or fears, that's always stems from having expectations. And if you can just let go of that, like, what do we want to happen from this album being released? We don't have to worry about that. We don't have to think, oh, I hope it reaches millions. Oh, I hope we get, 100,000 streams on it. That's not for us to decide. All we have to do is be in the present, take the steps. We're doing step by step by step, and it'll all flow the way it's supposed to. And so it's that having a faith that everything's going to be perfect. That's all, and from that comes this peace that I almost feel like I don't think. Like, I don't worry. I have a song that's coming out in 2 weeks. And people are like, oh, what are you doing to plan this? I don't know. I wake up every morning. Whatever feels right is exactly what I'm going to do. I might get something in my head that says, contact this person. Okay, I go contact that person. There's no plan. And that's one of the things, when we talk about the music industry and being an artist, people are like, oh, you're hoping to get a record deal. I said, no, the last thing I want is a record deal. I don't want to work for a corporation. I want my decisions to be based on what my heart tells me, what my instinct tells me, and at my own pace and in the direction that I need to be going. Because I'm the only one who knows that. I can't be influenced by anything else. So I think you were mentioning earlier about this thing with, influences, and that's so important, because that's what, when we're talking about artists who make it big time or what we perceive to be huge success, the price you pay is that you no longer control your life or the direction of your life and the decisions and everything. So that's a dangerous place to be. And the more you can stay in control of your life, I don't have those anxieties about things, because I'm going to decide when I'm going to do something and how I'm going to do it. And actually the universe is telling me how to do it. So all I got to do is listen and follow. And even when it makes zero sense, it will. And it'll
especially at that time.
Yeah.
Like the times when I followed those impulses, it's like, go and buy a pair of shorts. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, and then I meet everybody in the short shop, like nuts, because like they don't make sense, but that's the impulses. Exactly. Yeah. I love that you're, it sounds like you're super connected to your flow, which is beautiful. So cool. And it'd be nice maybe if you shared your meditations with the group.
Well, I started doing the thing where you kind of repeat this. I'm not an expert by any means. Like, I recently started doing meditation, but it's phenomenal. It's just wonderful. Just even if you can do 20 minutes in the morning, it's the first thing I do when I wake up. I do yoga, and then I do meditation, and then you start your day just so relaxed. And, I think it's important to do that before you sleep, because then you're clearing your mind, you're calming. I might focus on one thing and repeat the same, like I have a mantra that I'll go over if it's something that I'm trying to focus on, that I'm finding my life's purpose. Everything is working out for me, things like that, and just repeating it. And it's funny, the more you repeat it, the stronger it becomes. And then you truly 100% with your whole being believe it to be true. So it's amazing. Yeah. Our mind, once you have control of your mind and what you're thinking up there, because generally speaking, other things are getting involved, like your ego, and that controls the mind. And people don't even know, they'll get these, like a fear, those thoughts that creep into your head. That's your ego coming into play, right? Because what are you fearful of? It's usually because you're setting some kind of expectations. For who? For what? Whatever's going to happen in this universe that you're meant to be doing, just let it happen and don't worry. You don't have, we worry about way too many things that we don't need to get involved in, because that's where you start putting the obstacles. And the more you can just remove yourself from it, kind of be a bystander and watch and understand, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. Okay, I'll do that, just because your gut is telling you to do it. I don't know, I'm just rambling, but I hope it makes some sense.
That makes a lot of sense. I feel like it's been a recurring theme for me recently too, because I am at a point where I need to make a lot of important decisions with moving away and turning music into full time and all of that. And I feel influenced by all of that. Some weeks the doubts will be there more. There'll be more like, how can I fit into the system? Some weeks I'll be like, I'm indestructible. I will make my own system. I will make something amazing. And I'm still sort of finding that. And I feel like the thing that happened in my head right now was it screamed, love your journey. You don't need to always have joy or always be light. but you need to love the journey and find your way through that love and through that trust. And I feel like maybe I haven't been completely doing that. Maybe sometimes doubts happen in the back of my mind, and this experience just, I feel like a huge weight. I feel like slightly dizzy. Like, what did you do to me, Rimini?
Well, we
But
can let's connect on Facebook so that we can just yeah, it may be that we need to go back in and do something else, but you can just, if we connect on Facebook, just keep me updated, just drink lots of water, and yeah, and just rest. What's really good to do now, because our brains kind of go into like malleable state of like just being more receptive and open, is to meditate, is to sit in and focus on what it is that we want to create, because that will just further embed where we're going. But it's totally normal to be out of it. After my sessions, I'm like, okay, I've got nothing to do for the next hour because I need to go and be mush. So yeah. Jules or Eric, did you want to say anything?
Eric, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead, Jules.
Oh, okay. I used to have a lot of ifs. I heard like one writer said like life is iffy. I don't remember well. Life is iffy, and I used to have those types of if this was to happen, if this was to happen, if I made this, if I tried this, and I was talking like few days ago, and when I was meditating, I just remembered a discussion I had with a few producers back in Ethiopia, and they were like, "Are you going to look for a deal, a record deal, and something like that, and blah blah blah?" And there is this thing, I don't know, I heard it from whom. I just told him, I think we are in the 21st century, and it is very possible to be the label. We could be the label instead of looking for people who will trace us out and like kill our creativity by forcing us to do stuffs that we are not ready to do, because we all know how label works. As Susie said, they invest money in you, and of course they have to dictate how you will use their money. They will tell you maybe do trap, do don't know, do drill, do this, and you'll be like, come on. I came just to give what I had, and they'll be like, no, it is our money. And that's the discussion we used to we had with a few producers back in Ethiopia. And when I was meditating, I felt like all the ifs, if, they were like disappearing, because like, if what? As Susie said, when we worry about the if so much, we put too much trouble on ourselves, and yeah, we are the label. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. That's brilliant. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was feeling really just calm, and I relate to what you shared, Susie, about meditation and just flowing more, because I've learned that myself too, a lot more lately, to do that, to just allow the universe to be causal around me, right? Because yeah, everything is happening, everything is here, and it's just a matter of really giving in, or yeah, almost giving in, and not resisting. And so yeah, I'm loving the space that we're creating, because it just really sort of kind of amplifies what I'm already feeling before this. So yeah, I'm grateful to now share this with all of you. So it's amazing. So just, yeah, very grateful.
Is that everybody? Yeah, cool. Well, thanks for being here with me and sharing this experience. It's been Lovely being able to serve you all. And find me on Facebook so you can let me know if you have any questions, or like if you're getting any kind of, yeah, just repetitive like memories of things that came up, or but just let yourself be. And journals a great way just to really anchor in some of the changes, and breathe, drink plenty of water, and yeah, hit me up if you want to say hi.
Absolutely amazing.
Awesome.
Thank you, Rimini.
Rimini, that was beautiful.
Guiding us through that process, and everyone who tuned in and who tunes in on the replay too, who missed out on this session to be live, except for, as Jules mentioned, with Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now. All time is happening now, like that multi-dimensional layer cake that is always just in this present moment that we have all arrived in fully now, thanks to your process. So thank you.
Actually, you can replay it, and because we've already set the container, it can actually go deeper on the replay. So yes, you can join in.
Absolutely, Ace. What a resource, what a gift. This is what you have a chance to be part of if you become part of album 22. Love the name. And so, Jared, before we go, anything you want to say?
I think we've covered quite a bit here. And like Rimini said, my mind's kind of mush right now, and there's just a lot to process.
Beauty.
Good.
All right. Well, enough is as good as a feast. So thank you all. Let us feast again in 2 weeks. 3:30 Eastern time we'll come again together, and I will get the link as well as the event posted to the Peaceful Inner Warriors United group on Meetup. So please do go there. Invite your friends who are musically inclined or who are artistic, who want to be part of the conscious co-creation of something that has not existed in our time and that we've all come here to bring into fruition. So thank you.
Thank you. Big love. Bye.